how this past week was kind of the small menu of plays that you had brought in for a game or used.
It's relative. Maybe just a few smaller. Yeah.
Okay. Is that what this team needs offensively for the short term, or was that just for that game?
No. I think each week's its own deal. I mean, we carried the same number of plays into the game that we normally do. It wasn't like the total volume was any less. It was just probably had a couple less runs than what we normally do, and the complexity of the runs were maybe a little bit more. So we had more shifts and motions last week than what we'd probably had the prior 4 weeks, and we felt like that was the best way to attack that defense.
You also had your 11 personnel was up last week. Does that fall into the category of just that week plan, or was that a result of kind of self-scouting over the bye?
That was the best way to attack that defense, we felt, and so it always starts with us and putting our guys in good situations. But once we feel good about our personnel, then that's when we'll look to see how we can attack that defense.
When you got here, you sat down with Caleb and you watched some film and you talked about body language. In this game in particular, you have that real frustrating drive with 7 minutes left, and then he bounces back, and everybody bounces back for the final one. Is that an example of a case where good body language and maybe just kind of positivity on the sidelines pays off?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have my eyes on him at all times, so I'm sure, just like all of us do, we go through moments of frustration, and but we're very aware that people are looking at us, and so it's important that we respond the right way, and we can handle the ups and the downs properly, and so I'd like to think that because we can handle and manage our emotions, that we can withstand some of that fourth quarter when the game's on the line, and whether things are going right or we can feel it starting swinging back our way, that we can just stay nice and level and be able to perform.
Is there a difference between showing a little bit of natural emotion, you go over, maybe you put your helmet down a little harder than you would ordinarily, but then you kind of move past it? You're okay showing emotion just kind of natural?
Yeah, no, there's no question, of course. That's a big part of this game. I think in particular on defense, you have to play that way. You have to play a passionate game and allow your emotion to fuel you a little bit. Offensively, I think it's a little bit more strategic and calculated at times, and so you maybe have to be a little bit more level-headed. But I think emotion does play a part of the game, and as long as we're using them correctly, I think it's a good thing.
What allowed Swift to be more successful running against a loaded box versus like when you guys had a numbers advantage on Monday?
I don't know. I equate it to better fundamentals up front. I thought our guys did a great job with their combinations. I thought they had 2 really strong interior players, and we were looking to get double teams on those guys as much as we could, whether it was our gap scheme or our zone schemes, and I felt like those double teams were really good. I felt like we were able to displace them and create some cavities that way. And then, like I mentioned before, we had some of the motions and shifts I do think helped soften that linebacking crew in particular up a little bit, because that was a hard-nosed downhill unit that we were looking every which way we could to try to give them a little eye candy and slow them down. And so, I think less of it one high, too high. I think more of it really good execution up front.
Ben, you talked about yesterday, to get respect, you have to earn it. What do you think it takes to earn respect, and how long do you think that takes?
Yeah, I can't speak for that. It's everyone's going to have their own opinion on us as a team and each player and each coach individually, and so you do the best you can to block the outside noise. I think we know what we're building here. I think we're starting to believe in each other. The more time that we spend together, I feel that. I feel it building, and I think that's the most important thing. And so, I think ultimately you do want the respect of your peers, in particular, the people that you're working with, and I think that trickles outside of the building with how you compete and what you put on tape as well. So, that's a good thing, but at the same time, we're more concerned about what we're doing on a daily basis and what we're doing for each other.
With Theo Benedict, if you take out some of the parts of that it's a good story that he's made this run, and just objectively, how has he played at left tackle the last 2 games?
I thought he's done a really solid job for us. I think the biggest compliment I could probably give him last week is I didn't feel him out there, which as a play caller, that's what you're normally doing is, hey, why is a play breaking down? And if it's a particular person, then you're looking to help him out somehow, some way. And I never felt that last week with him. And so I think the confidence is growing. I think his confidence is growing with his ability to perform in this league, and I think our confidence with him continues to grow as well.
If you go back to the fact that he is a really good story and his interesting path to get here, how do you explain that? How do you explain with offensive line play how a guy can go just totally overlooked and from that to being your starting left tackle?
Yeah, well, I mean, he tucked away in Canada there, so it's it's you can overlook some guys like that. And I mean, I was in Detroit, and we ended up when I was there drafting one of his teammates in the 4th round, and you know, those guys can be found, but you got to do a really good job of making sure that your scouting department is on top of things. I think Ryan and his crew did a phenomenal job identifying Theo. He had a lot of traits that you really liked, and athleticism, and I think that's really translated. But more so than anything else, I think he's just wired the right way, and a lot of times that's hard to gauge when you're evaluating prospects. Is you're getting to know them, you try to bring them in the building, and you only have a day, or you only at the combine 15 minutes in a formal to try to dive into that, and it's in an inexact science, as we all know. There's a lot of misses when it comes to player acquisition. But I do believe that he's wired the right way, and that's why he's been able to take his raw tools and talent and take coaching and get better. Last year on the practice squad, and then this year since we've been in the building.
And you guys are coming off, obviously, a couple high emotion wins in a row, obviously the bye in between, but how do you sort of manage the team this week now in a short week and what, could be a bit of a letdown spot?
Yeah, I don't know what that word means. That we're coming back into the building today, and we're gonna embrace what the mission is, and that's to be a really good football team coming in town. This is a team that we're about to play that they have a lot of veteran players that have played at a high level and are a prideful group. I probably watched to this point a lot more defense than I have of their offense, but I have a lot of respect for how they play. They're getting better every week. I've talked to DA; he feels the same way about their offense. They continue to ascend, so we won't overlook this opponent. This is a good football team that's on the rise. That's number one, and number two, like when we have our team meeting here, it's going to be pretty clear that what's in the past is in the past, and we're only focused on this week. It is a short week, like you mentioned, particularly early on here. It's all about getting our bodies recovered from that Monday night game. I know not everyone's feeling great right now because that was a physical ball game that we played in. But mentally, we do have a lot of work to do.
And what's been your interpretation of the takeaway binge that your defense has been on here recently?
Yeah, no, I think something when you emphasize something, you normally get it, and that whole staff has done that from the get-go, and our players have embraced it. They're very ball conscious, as you know. We're looking to punch out in practice. We're looking to do that in individual drills. It's carrying over to the team periods of practice, and then to the game as well. So same thing with the interceptions. Our scout team quarterbacks aren't trying to throw them, and yet it's happening almost every single day. And we can continue to not only get our hands on those balls and be able to return them, but like we're turning them into big plays with the returns as well, and setting up good field position for the offense. And so I think when you emphasize something, the guys take it to heart. I think that's when good things happen. So it's not luck; it's by design.
Dennis Allen has kind of shown us that can be flexible, whether it's switching the linebackers around, putting Jamar Turner on the outside, changing the coverages, like whatever it is. I mean, how much of that was his reputation before you hired him, and like how big of a reason is that why you went after him? Because it doesn't seem like he's got a very static mindset when it comes to his
No, I mean he's really he's been a godsend to me, because he's been incredible. Not just from coordinating the defense, but he's helped me every step of the way as well. So very grateful for him to be here and everything that he's done for this team up to date. But to your point, he's he's been a very successful coach in this league for a long time, and I think you got to continue to evolve. You can't just be stagnant in this league, or else someone younger, hungrier will find a way to surpass you, and he hasn't allowed that to happen. He's done this at a high level, and so just like you said, he thinks outside the box. He's very smart, very creative, and I think our guys are really starting to understand, like, okay, he's given us a strategic advantage each and every week right now.
And this is a point of, just a point of confirmation, when Cairo Santos is healthy, he's your kicker?
Yes.
That's good?
Yeah.
All right, have a good one.
Aaron gave me the go-ahead
Go ahead for
another question.
okay, yeah.
Caleb's led, game-winning fourth quarter drives in back-to-back games. What's the value of doing that for a young quarterback who's developing? How does that impact confidence?
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I think he's done a heck of a job just controlling his emotions, as we've talked about already, in those situations, and it seems like he really just comes to life, and he meets that moment head on. It's almost like he wants that to happen each and every week, because that's when he's at his best, and he's not surprised by it. I mean, this is who he's always been. It's those big moments like that he really lives for, and I think he's doing a great job with it so far. Thank you.
Thank you.